If the thought leaders in the Democratic Party keep encouraging and not rebuking the idea that America is cringe and the people who run Gaza are great, the Democrats are doomed. Alyssa Slotkin's right. Liberals are weak and woke, especially the white ones, and they indulge all sorts of nonsense from their kids, a pattern that then continues on in the Democratic Party.
I used to think the DNC's frustration was just about Trump being in office. I was wrong. Maher shared striking statistics revealing just how seriously Democrats worry about the country. And it was eye-opening. Hearing it from a conservative might be expected, but coming from a liberal, that made it even more powerful. Now, let's dive in.
1 in 4 Democrats under 30 say they're proud to be an American. 54% say they're embarrassed by it. Embarrassed? Like America's your mom picking you up at school? You're embarrassed to be an American? Well, guess what? The feeling's mutual, because you have no perspective. Is America perfect? No, of course not. No country is. But the U.S. is leagues ahead of the rest of the world on most of the progressive issues that are important to young people. America has 14 million women-owned businesses. 17% of black women are starting businesses, which is faster than white women or white men. Gay Americans are free to marry, and 49% of them own property. Yes, in America, gays buy buildings.
Maher began by drawing a stark contrast between the United States and the countries that many liberals often praise, particularly in the Arab world. He noted that most of these nations barely resemble democracies. In many, women cannot vote, drive, or run businesses, restrictions that would be unthinkable in the U.S. He also highlighted severe limitations on LGBTQ+ rights, where gay and transgender individuals often cannot travel safely or live freely. Freedom of expression is heavily curtailed, and disrespect can carry harsh consequences. By pointing out these contrasts, Maher challenged viewers to question why some liberals so strongly support these countries while criticizing the freedoms and liberties that define America. His aim was to provoke reflection, challenge assumptions, and spark a deeper conversation about values and priorities.
Legalize the Intifada is the catchphrase that's really catching on these days. At an AOC Bernie Sanders rally in Idaho last month, someone threw a Palestinian flag over an American flag, and the crowd erupted in approval. What should have happened after that is one of the adults on stage should have told their young, loyal followers, this is not a symbol of freedom. This is.
But after years of shaping young minds to distrust, criticize, and even resent America, many adults now hesitate to tell them the full truth. The effects of this messaging are widespread, influencing social media, schools, political debates, and cultural narratives. How often have left-leaning politicians publicly condemned the nation, emphasizing its flaws while minimizing its freedoms and opportunities? Because of this constant framing, it's difficult for them to step onto a stage and present a balanced view, highlighting the liberties, rights, and achievements that make America unique. Convincing impressionable youth that the country they've been taught to doubt is also a place of opportunity, courage, and innovation requires honesty, courage, and a willingness to challenge deeply ingrained narratives.
The thought leaders in the Democratic Party keep encouraging and not rebuking the idea that America is cringe and the people who run Gaza are great. The Democrats are doomed. Alyssa Slotkin's right. Liberals are weak and woke, especially the white ones, and they indulge all sorts of nonsense from their kids, a pattern that then continues on in the Democratic Party. Last election, it was all the gender stuff, the insistence that men can have babies and such, and now I fear that we like the terrorists is the new that. Liberals need to push back on the dumb ideas that come from their children.
Maher didn't hold back in criticizing liberals for what he sees as flawed priorities. He argued they often focus on symbolic or trivial issues while ignoring the nation's most urgent problems. According to him, this misalignment played a major role in last year's electoral defeat. While debates over topics like men becoming pregnant drew media attention and energized activist groups, they failed to tackle issues that truly matter to most Americans, such as border security, national safety, and the economy. Maher suggested that by prioritizing culture war flashpoints over practical concerns, the left alienated middle-class voters and handed an advantage to their opponents. He stressed that restoring public trust requires addressing the real, everyday challenges people face, rather than getting lost in ideological disputes that, while visible, often feel irrelevant to the majority of voters.
problem is the energy of the party is with the young and the young are with the terrorists. That's not good. So talk to your children and remind them you don't really want to live like your heroes in Hamas. All the you do all day, it was all made in America. Your smartphone, your Grubhub, your freedom to about America, that's all American stuff. You tell your phone you want a milkshake and a guy brings it to your house. Please, you couldn't survive a week living in Intifadaville.
Maher argued that younger generations need to confront the harsh realities of life in the countries they so often admire. Too often, left-leaning media selectively highlight stories that paint these nations as ideal or progressive, emphasizing a few successes while ignoring widespread tyranny, restricted freedoms, and human rights abuses. As a result, young people see only the picture they are shown, missing the full scope of these societies. Maher stressed that without this critical perspective, they end up advocating for ideals that are more theoretical than practical. By understanding the realities of limited rights, restricted speech, gender inequality, and systemic repression abroad, young Americans can better appreciate the freedoms and democracy they enjoy at home and recognize what makes those liberties truly valuable.
The most beautiful symbol of freedom. When the people of Hong Kong stood up to China, they waved the American flag. Why? Because it's not just a beautiful flag. It is a symbol of hope and liberty. Today's divide in America, sadly, is not just about taxes or policy. The left resents this country. They're willing to embrace regimes that hate women, Christians, basic freedoms, because they share one thing: a hatred for America. Don't ever apologize for being proud of this country. You have a moral duty to be proud.
America has long stood as a global symbol of freedom, opportunity, and hope, and no one should feel ashamed of it. People from around the world often wait in long lines at U.S. embassies and consulates, paying high fees for the chance to live in a country that offers rights and opportunities unavailable elsewhere. Yes, the United States is not perfect. It faces challenges, shortcomings, and occasional political unrest. Yet when it comes to freedom, economic opportunity, and the protection of individual rights, it remains unmatched by most nations. The U.S. provides an environment where millions risk everything to experience the ability to speak freely, start a business, pursue education, or vote without fear. Despite its flaws, America continues to be one of the greatest nations on earth and a beacon for anyone seeking a better life.
An immigrant? I'm gonna guess he's a legal immigrant. And that's the type of American you can be really, really proud of. And that's the type of people that we want here. Someone who loves this place, who understands this place, who doesn't want to come here and fundamentally alter it the way Zorhan Flamflami does. It's different. It's different. And we better really start understanding that. Do you think that Welsh chick really loves America? Or does she want to burn it down? What do you think the Hamas guy over there wants to do? Or the Batman villain, or the rest of them? I mean, they tell you all the time, right? You don't have to believe me. Go see. You know, we always check it every year. Go see what they post on Memorial Day or on Labor Day or on Thanksgiving. And they never post an appreciation for this country. They never step back. Ilhan Omar should wake up every morning and get on her knees and look up at the flag and thank this country for taking her out of Somalia. But instead she has come here to burn it.
That's true. Many immigrants who arrive in the United States with humility, respect, and a desire to contribute are welcomed and go on to become exemplary citizens. They work hard, follow the law, and quietly improve their own lives and the lives of their families, honoring the country that gave them opportunities while embracing the freedoms America offers. At the same time, it's also true that not all immigrants share the same intentions. Some challenge the laws, values, and traditions of the nation in ways that can undermine its core principles. Distinguishing between those who seek to strengthen society and those whose actions risk harm is crucial, because even a small minority can create tension and distrust. By appreciating the contributions of law-abiding immigrants while remaining vigilant against destructive behavior, Americans can uphold the ideals that have long made this country exceptional.
Democrats need to get their together, because we need two parties in this country, and we desperately need the one that still concedes elections, doesn't sell the office, and doesn't want to completely switch out democratic rule of law for a rubber-stamped autocracy. But that party is so right now, and nothing to me symbolized that more than this video. Why do I say that? Well, let me put it this way. I don't know for a fact that this couple are Democrats. I just know it's true.
Maher observed that the pair seemed democratic based on their reactions when the kiss camera focused on them. Immediately, they tried to hide, perhaps fearing exposure. He argued that this behavior reflects the party's struggle to address extreme woke positions within its own ranks. Many Democrats recognize that certain cultural and policy stances are damaging their image and alienating voters, yet few are willing to speak out. Why? Fear of rejection or social backlash keeps them silent even when they privately see the harm. Maher framed this not as a personal failing, but as a structural problem. The party struggles to balance idealism with pragmatism. If Democrats continue to ignore internal criticism, they risk losing the very supporters they rely on to remain competitive.
I knew they were Democrats for the same reason I knew this was a Democrat. You can't hide from the kiss cam, and you can't hide in the Oval Office. Damn, if only the lady at the Coldplay concert had brought some folders with her, maybe she wouldn't be in hot water today. Now, am I saying that only Democrats run and hide? But Democrats seem to be afraid of everything. They were petrified of COVID, masking 2-year-olds who never would have died from it and keeping schools closed for far too long. They're definitely afraid of their kids, who from time immemorial have always come up with bad ideas. Their kids, thinking up stupid what they do.
Maher questions why some parents seem so intimidated by their own children. Today, many households allow kids to make decisions that clearly belong to adults and even seek their input on matters far beyond their experience. Maher argues that social media, movies, and TV shows, which often portray children as wise beyond their years or the ultimate authority in family matters, reinforce this trend. While it may seem harmless or even progressive at first, letting children run the household has serious consequences. It can create homes with blurred boundaries, inconsistent discipline, and diminished respect for authority. Maher stresses that for children to grow into capable, well-adjusted adults, they need clear boundaries, structure, and guidance, not the full burden of adult responsibilities.
But parents used to tell them, that's ridiculous. The world doesn't work that way. Not today's parents. They say, you're right, honey. Gender is just a social construct.
Maher argues that many of the Democratic Party's current political struggles stem from its embrace and steadfast support of extreme woke positions. Instead of adjusting when it became clear these stances were costing them support, the party doubled down on cultural and ideological priorities that, while appealing to a vocal minority, alienated a large portion of the broader electorate. Democrats often ignored warning signs prioritizing ideology over practicality. Their failure to adapt directly contributed to recent election losses. Maher emphasizes that political success requires balancing core principles with the pragmatic concerns of voters. By putting symbolism and internal politics ahead of the real issues affecting Americans, Democrats created conditions that made electoral setbacks almost inevitable. This wraps up today's video. For more content like this, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.